Brooks, if I could take this time, we'd like to give them 5 minutes for an opportunity for Q&A.
Okay.
So,
All right, yes. All right, let's do that right now. Anybody have any particular questions they'd love to ask me? Anything? Yes, sir.
Brandon Ellison, I want to ask you, have you heard of the law of attraction and have you studied the law of attraction before?
Great question. Yes, sir, I have. I watched the movie back in the day when it came out, and every single day I actually read, watch videos, everything pertaining to that law. So the law of attraction, going back to what I was saying earlier, you're really like a magnet, right? Matter of fact, I can touch on something real quick. I'll try to make this real quick. So love is the highest vibration in the universe. There's only 2 real emotions in the universe, love and fear. Everything else is a derivative of the 2. Love is that highest vibration. So that's why it's important, even when you're dealing with women, don't play with women. Don't try to dominate, manipulate, or control them. You should love and protect them and allow them to blossom, because you're only going to be able to elevate. Your highest elevation, to be honest with you, and that's another discussion, is going to come from when you fall in love with a woman and rise up, because now your purpose and meaning for life rises, right? And that energy pulls you up. Like my kids, when my kids were born, I'm in love with my kids. I love them, and I would give my life for them. So it's like that forces me to go harder, stronger, because your purpose has to be bigger than yourself. And that whole energy raises you up, and it brings blessings to you. That's a long story, and I'd love one day to actually speak on that. Next question.
Amari Williams, what's the next step you're looking forward to career-wise?
Good question. So I'll be 55 in November. So I have to be honest with myself. They're not going to continue to pay an old guy like me into his 70s, 80s, and all the other stuff. So I have to look at how do I recreate myself. One is I used to train people to get their Cisco CCNA, my own independent business. So I'm going to go back to training, things of that nature. I would love to help develop young minds and teach you what I've done. And that's the way societies were built in the past. And that's one of the problems we have as a people from the 60s, the people who led the civil rights movement. Instead of them passing the torch down to the next generation, they still holding on to it instead of passing the torch. We got a lot of good sprinters. We ain't good at passing the baton. I want to pass the baton. Next question.
William Evans, what is your definition of a serious man?
The definition of a serious man. One that aligns himself with God and God's principles. Once again, it's like there are certain laws of the universe that were laid out. And I could sit there and be a narcissist or be into the meism and try to create this utopian thought in my own head on how things should be when it's already laid out. I listen to Miles Monroe a lot, and there's a YouTube video out there I want all of you guys to listen to on How to Be a Better Man by Miles Monroe, and he goes in great detail on that. Yes, sir.
Travis Winston. I kind of got like a 2-part question. Number one, what age were you when you first started having kids, and how much would you accredit like your success to them?
Good question, man. You guys got great questions. All right, so my daughter is 20. I'm 50. I'll be 55. So that lets you know it's like going on 35. I had my first child. My son was my 40th birthday present. His mom was throwing a party for me for my 40th birthday, and my mom had sent her some pictures of my childhood and everything, and she seen this little chocolate baby with curly hair. She's like, can you give me one like that, and we'll call him Noah. So we started right after my birthday party, which was like November 15th, 16th. 9 months later, August 8th, I was blessed with my son. Next question. Yes, sir.
Nicholas Bagby. Have you ever read the book Conversations with God?
Yes.
Because a lot of the points that you're talking on sound familiar from that book.
Simran Singh, right?
Yes.
I actually dialogue with her online. I have the book. Yes, sir. Yes. Great book. Keep reading that kind of stuff, man. That's good stuff. I was born on 11/11. She has a show called 11/11. My birthday's November 11th. That's how I found her on that.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
Joe
guys I work with will probably beat me up for answering that question. Windows 10, and it's by default. Most of these guys are Mac guys. Yesterday I had a problem. I'm the network engineer. I had a problem I couldn't solve because it was some underlying application that kind of holds my computer up. And when I went to the guys that do all the LAN and computer work, they were telling me that people were getting issued Macs because their boss wanted them to master Macs because most people don't understand and they're migrating to it. But so right now they're putting me on a different platform. They're going to give me a Mac and wait for the higher ups to tell me which direction we're going to go. Yes, sir.
When you graduate, how often do you do those trainings with the certification?
Okay, I haven't done them in the past. I mean, I haven't done them recently. I used to do that in the past. But I tell you what, any of you guys, if you're on Facebook, start following me. You can inbox me. I'd love to continue the dialogue. Russell Bruce is RUSSELL. Bruce. Say it again, sir.
Instagram?
Yes, sir. On Instagram, I'm actually a closet chef. So Closet Chef Russ or Russell Bruce on Instagram. I actually post all my foods. So working as an engineer, I've traveled all throughout the United States. I've been in almost every state except for about 4 or 5 of them. And during those travels, of course, they feed you, so I got a chance to eat some of the best food there was. And now, you know, I'm kind of back at home because of the kids and everything. And I'm not traveling as much, but I still wanted the food, so I didn't want to have to go to New Orleans to be able to eat like crawfish etouffee and all this other stuff. I just learned how to cook it. So if you look at that Instagram page, I got all the dishes and stuff out there. Yes, sir.
Jamonte Hart Robinson. What would you say is the most important thing to your growth and you evolving as a man?
Good question, man. Man, you guys are challenging me. The most important thing for me was the love of my mother. My mother every day, even though she only had an 8th grade education, was abused and went through everything she went through, it was the principles that she taught me. And every day, like on the weekends when she would come home, she worked nights. So when she came home, she would sit down and talk to me and pour into me. She called it her mother wit. She would just give me that kind of wisdom. She would teach me how to treat women, basically tell me what not to do. Like, never put your hands on a woman. She was like, you'll do better by walking away as opposed to hitting them. Got a lot of brothers locked up right now because their emotional intelligence, they can't control themselves. You know, so if you just listening to rap music and your daddy wasn't around and your mom didn't tell you the right thing to do, and you get in that situation where you got 2 seconds to make a decision, and you haven't programmed your subconscious mind to say, hey, I'm not gonna do that. I was programmed never to do those types of things. She programmed me that I could accomplish anything I put my mind to. She treated me like a superhero, and I was naive enough to believe it. So here I am. And I'm a product of her love. It was totally unconditional. On my Facebook page every now and then I'll post, she left me an audio that she sent me about 25, 30 years ago. One day she was just sitting in the kitchen and she talked into a cassette and she just told me how much she loved me and why she loved me and all these great things, and I held on to it, right? So recently I went to a TED Talk here in Atlanta, and there was a guy on there talking about some type of wheel. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a wheel where you leave that next generation of like things of motivation and love, inspirement, like the legacy, but it's an audio or a video. Well, she did that without even knowing that that would come to fruition. So that's my driving force, because I always wanted to make her proud. So it's like she struggled through life. I was her trophy to the world to say, I did it right.
Excuse me, gentlemen, we have time for only one more question, and then we need to make preparation for Friday feedback.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I was going to ask you, if you were me, what question would you ask yourself? So what do you wish you knew at 20 that you now know at 25?
Same questions I talked about. Who am I? What's my purpose? When you start answering those questions, the whole world opens up. Because now you're having that communication with the universe, God. You're having the right conversation. You go ask your homeboy or somebody else, you're going to get a different answer, right? Take that quiet time with yourself and God every single day. Read every single day. Build your mind. Take care of your body, mind, body, soul. Take care of your mind. Read. Stay progressive. Stay up on all the new trends. Your body. Keep your body fit. Eat the right foods. It's all about electrical energy. Burgers, fries, pizza, low energy, zero energy. Vegetables, fruit, high energy. Your mind works better, your body works better, everything. If you want to be a top-notch athlete, top-notch thinker, you got to put the right fuel in your body. And then spiritual, take that time out every day with God. Every day. Do those things every day, man. Magic happens. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just do a little bit every single day, and you'll see progressively things will get better.
You man, please put your hands together for our speaker.